Hi everybody, Shannon Petrovich with Therapist Talks. Narcissistic supply. Don't be victim to the vampire. Why did my ex love me 1 minute and act like I'm yesterday's garbage the next? How could we be planning our lives together 1 week, the next week they have a new partner, and a month after that I hear they're getting married? How could they move on so quickly? Did I mean nothing to them? How can I keep my narcissist with me and happy? Or how can I get my ex back and keep them happy? These are questions I'm asked a lot when it comes to having a relationship with a narcissist. The answer is simple and complex at the same time. For starters, the narcissist is like a vampire or a flea. They need to suck the lifeblood off of somebody else in order to survive, emotionally speaking. This is a confusing concept if you're not wired this way, so let me explain. When we're children, we need certain things in order to develop a healthy and solid sense of self. We need love and we need structure. One psychologist I read recently said all children are narcissists, and it's true. They want what they want when they want it. They believe the world revolves around them, and they will push another child down to take a toy they want. As parents, we have to teach our kids that the world does not revolve around them. They have to wait their turn. They can't have everything they want when they want it. That they need to care about others' feelings, and that their tantrums will not get them their way. Sadly, many parents neglect these battles with their kids, and these kids grow up with narcissistic traits, some into fully blown narcissists. Other narcissists didn't have it all, and they fought their way to get what they want. They internalize anger and resentments that fuel their narcissistic beliefs and traits, and they grow up to be self-centered, non-empathic, and uncaring towards others. Of course, there's also that innate nature in each child which makes them respond to their environment in different ways that help them develop into a full-blown narcissistic personality or not. So secondly, all of this is to help you understand that the internal structure of the self of someone with NPD is remarkably different than someone who's not. The sense of self is empty, and it's reliant on others to fill it. They need, demand, expect, and feel entitled to having all of the attention on themselves all the time, and to be emotionally fed all the time. Like a vampire or a flea, they have to have someone else to feed off of to fill their empty self, or they collapse like a hot air balloon. This leads to an explosion or an implosion, and if you've ever been around this, you know how traumatic or even extremely dangerous this is. You can see my video, Narcissistic Collapse, for more information on that phenomenon. So the flea or vampire seeks out a host, sucks the blood out of them, and then moves on to another host. Their attachment is purely functional. But whereas a flea doesn't have to shine on a dog or cat before they jump on board, a narcissist innately knows they have to at least pretend to offer some kind of relationship benefits to their victim, or what we call supply. This comes in the forms of love bombing, mirroring, also some recent videos I've done. And this lasts as long as necessary to get the host or victim or supply to stand still so they can latch on. This shining on feels so good, and so often the victim spends a lifetime trying to get back to the way we were. They have a hard time realizing that the first part of the relationship was purely manipulative, and there's no getting back to that. Once the narcissist has latched on and begun to feed off of you, they'll usually drop the shining on love bombing. Seeing this for what it is crucial to you letting go and moving on. When you realize you are the blood supply to this flea, then you can understand the truth of the dynamic between the narcissist and the supply. They are the vampire or flea, and you are their blood supply. Simple, tragic, painful truth. So to fully answer the opening questions, let's unpack this a little bit further. Why does a person love you 1 minute and act like you're yesterday's garbage the next? Well, a narcissist doesn't love in the way we think. They are incapable. They attach to get lifeblood, but they don't love. Love is an action word and involves sharing and caring and empathically and actively loving someone else. The narcissist, by definition and by diagnostic criteria, does not have empathy or concern for others, only themselves. So the sad truth is they didn't love you to begin with. And moving on to someone else and treating you like garbage is what they do. No amount of trying will ever change their underlying personality structure. It was set in place during their early childhood, and they will only change if they decide to, and that, unfortunately, is really rare with someone with NPD. They typically just move on to the next luscious meal. How could they move on so quickly, and did I mean nothing to them? Truthfully, the relationship with you was one of vampire and victim, flea and host, and they are not capable of caring or sharing, so although they may have played a good game and given you an Oscar-winning performance, you didn't mean to them what they meant to you. They're just not capable of loving you the way you love them. And rest assured, they will give the next victim or host the same performance and suck their lifeblood out of them for the next while. Realizing this is super painful, but somehow I hope it's also freeing, as you realize this wasn't about you. You fell prey to their wily ways, for sure, but other than that, it really had nothing to do with you not being good enough or attractive enough or smart enough or anything else that you might be telling yourself right now. This is who they are, and the breakup was just about them jumping from one host or victim to the next. How could we be planning our lives together one week, the next week they have a new partner, and now I hear they're getting married? They acted the part to love bomb you into the relationship so they could get what they needed for a time. When the next shiny object floated by, they latched onto that person, and they'll do the same to them eventually. This is where so many people fall into self-hatred and self-deprecation. They struggle endlessly to find the reason the narcissist left. They emotionally torture themselves to figure it out and then torture themselves some more. It's so crucial that you realize you were not to blame. Take stock truthfully and see all the ways that you tried to make the relationship work, and then try to find a peaceful way to compassionately let yourself realize this was not about you. Realize, too, that you take yourself and all of your good qualities with you. And when you choose a caring, empathic person to be with, you can have a happy, healthy relationship. How can I keep my narc happy so they won't leave? Or how can I get my ex back and make it so they won't leave again? I groan inside when I am asked these questions. I hurt for this person when I think about the powerful trauma bond that was formed. Trauma bonding is the powerful force that keeps us with someone who traumatizes us. Think about the flea or the vampire. They have to move from victim to satiate their needs, and the narcissist will typically do this as well. Some will stay with the victim for a lifetime, often with others on the side, of course, and will devastate that person so they're emotionally, physically, spiritually, and even financially bankrupt by the time they're in middle age. Then the narcissist will leave for someone younger with more lifeblood to offer. Asking either of these questions is to decide that you don't matter and that you're willing to devastate yourself to put up with the narcissist. These questions indicate that the trauma bond has actually become stronger than your most basic survival instincts. You need to get some space, get away long enough to see how much this person is devastating you. Talk to supportive people, find a therapist, and take yourself out of this situation as soon as possible. In summary, being the narcissist's supply is like being host to a flea or a victim to a vampire. I like the flea analogy because it disempowers the narcissist, but truly, when you're with a narcissist, it feels more like being attacked by a vampire. See this for what it is. The love bombing isn't love, the future building isn't real, and the way to make them happy will only devastate you. Shake them off and save yourself from their grasp. For more strategies, you can watch Trauma Bonding Strategies to Get Free. If you've appreciated this video, please like and subscribe, and also leave comments if you feel like it, or suggestions for future videos that you would like me to cover. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you again soon.